Christine Amour-Levar is a champion when it comes to women empowerment and environmental conservation. But what's interesting is her way of promoting her advocacies. How? Through mountain climbing and trekking.
Christine Amour-Levar, a Filipina-French-Swiss, a marketing communications expert, author, and social entrepreneur, has been trying to empower women the past years. She founded Her Planet Earth to support her cause with the intent of raising funds for women affected by climate change. Aside from that, she also co-founded Women on a Mission, focusing on women who were once victims of violence and abuse. These two non-profit organizations also take all-female teams on trekking expeditions. These include trips to the Arctic Circle, Antarctica, Himalayas, Middle East, and Africa.
Over the last 10 years, I've run my two nonprofit organizations that support vulnerable women. The first one is called Women on a Mission, which supports and empowers women affected by violence and abuse. And the other one is called Her Planet Earth, that supports women impacted by climate change. And I do this by taking women on expeditions around the world on challenging trips to raise awareness and funds for my charity partners.
One of her most recent activities was a special climb in Switzerland. Joined by 80 other women from 25 different countries, the crew is said to be the largest all-female road team. They climbed the 4,000-meter high Braithorn Mountain.
A very unique experience, very empowering, because they really wanted to try to put women on top of mountains in Switzerland, figuratively and literally, and encourage more women to take out outdoor sports, which is predominantly still a male-dominated type of, adventure sports.
Amour-Levar grew up in Makati and is a child of a Filipina and her French-Swiss father. By the age of 18, she went to University of Japan and now resides in Singapore. She is blessed with 4 children and worked in one of the biggest sports marketing companies in the world before shifting to non-entrepreneurial activities.
I've got 2 nonprofits, and each of them have different charity partners. So the Women on a Mission, as I said, supports women impacted by violence and abuse. So I support charities that specifically help women survivors of war, survivors of human trafficking, domestic abuse. And with Her Planet Earth, they are charities that are much more focused on environmental issues. So I have many charity partners, and they're long-term contacts of mine because we continue to raise funds for them, not just on a one-time basis, but we try to do that over several years.
Amour-Levar, who is now in her 40s, shared that she wanted to become a beacon of hope and voice for the less privileged women.
There's so many women out there that have no voice. So that woke that inside of me, and I realized that I needed to change my life, and still I found a way to use sports and adventure, as a way to use that as a vehicle to help other women. So it's been really wonderful for me because in my life, I've been able to combine my passion for sports and adventure with the desire to help other women. And that's why both of my nonprofits have adventure and sports at the very core, but are very much focused on supporting women.
She's also an author and wrote the book A Wild Wisdom, containing stories of her life adventures.
Basically the story of my life lessons from leading teams to some of the most inhospitable places in the world. So in this story, I recount, of course, my life growing up in the Philippines, a bit about my career, also how I started my 2 nonprofit organizations, and then I really tell the story of those expeditions.
Amour-Levar will next go on a climbing expedition with 14 others in Kyrgyzstan to raise $100,000 for the war victims in Ukraine, Afghanistan, and Syria.